Liam in Spokane, Washington. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I'm going to cut your prescription lenses in anti-glare for your Penguin. Cute little snap elastic band to hold the case closed. The Penguin, this is the Princeton in the 50 eye size in color BK for black. And when I say black, I mean black and silver. Of course, it just came with that little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping. I'm going to put that on there for you. Great frame with spring hinges, classic P3 styling in today's black and platinum, which most men's accessories are, from watch bands to belt buckles to even the buckles on shoes. Black and silver, black and platinum is in. It's got a really cool engraved design. Hopefully we can see that. Let's take a look and see. Can you see that detail work and that fine detail work? Penguin makes some really nice frames for millennials. Check out the collection on the website. I don't have as many up there as I need to, but if there's any Penguin frame you want that I don't have listed, I am an authorized dealer and I can get them for you. So let me pop out your original demo lenses. One of them has the cute little penguin on there, and pop those out, and I'm going to put it into the tracing element of my blocker and hit start. A little stylus is going to pop up and it's going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing exactly the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Penguin frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Liam, you know you need some prescription. You have a higher than average prescription, so that ship has sailed for you, but you're still going to get your monies back on insurance or flex dollars for using this. So that is the shape we'll be cutting. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to another screen. It is magnified here. I can bring it down to its original size, but that is the shape that we will be cutting. Now your pupillary distance for your right eye is 32.5. I don't have to do anything because the computer's already set at 32.5. I do want to raise the optical center up on the frame because with a deeper frame than like this, you're going to be looking through the top third. So I'm going to raise the optical center up for that very reason, so you're looking through the center of the lens. Oops, look at me, hit the wrong button. Come on back, come on back, come on back. See, it's already trying to do the left lens. I flip back over to the right. I'm going to write something down here too. We're going to do the optical center height of 25. We're going to come down here to my lensometer, and your right eye reads -5, -75 at 005, -5, -75 at 005. I didn't have to go far. I was already on 0 from the last one I did. So I'm going to put that on 5, exactly halfway between 0 and 10. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Put your lens into my Marco 101 lensometer. First I got to put the, well, let me make sure I'm on 0. Let me turn that prism wheel just a little bit. There we go. Put the power drum on -5. Now put the lens in and rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center of your frame. Check your astigmatism correction. 75, -5, 75. That looks good. Now I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. Come on, ink. Come on, ink. There's my pen. Let me darken that one. I can see it. I can see it. And this is the right lens. Let me just put a little bit more ink in here, shall we? Drop, drop, drop. Now let's do the same thing for the left lens, which reads -450, -75 at 179. -450, -75 at 179, which is 1 tick mark away from 0, because 0 and 180 are the same number. As the straight line goes, put the power drum on -450. Rotate the spherical component. That's a 450. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good. I'm going to put 3 dots on there. It better be 3 dark dots this time. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. I'm still going to darken that a little bit more. I'm going to put an L on there for left. Now, if you missed any of that, let me recap. You knew it was coming. You knew it was. I'm telling you, that joke is not for y'all. It's for me. I'm going to see how many times in a row I can tell that joke without even bothering me. So, this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting, so I need to use a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got my last two here. I get to open my brand new box. I'm going to go ahead and throw away my trash. Actually into recycling. Put the sticker on the first one. Put my sticker onto the second one. Now on the back is a silver button that is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice today. The first time it's going to attach itself to something magnetical there in the arm. Pull the paper away. Now put that in the trash. Can't recycle that shiny paper. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there, it tells me that it's oriented and adjusts perfectly. That's the optical center. That is the center of the lens. If you were to measure at any point going around the circumference, that's what you would come to. So the blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. If you were to measure vertically and horizontally, that's where it would be, but your eye is just above that in inset. So get those 3 dots lined up in there perfectly. And hit that button. Now the arm can come down and place the block onto the right lens. We'll do the same thing now for the unright lens. Place that onto the platform, pull the paper away, throw that in the trash. Now your pupillary distance for your left eye is 33.5. So the computer has mirrored the right side. We're going to go up to 33.5. Same optical center height. And get everything lined up in there perfectly. That's going to sit directly in front of your pupil. Those other 2 dots tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. And hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is what's going to do all the work while I run my mouth. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own, put it on your own kitchen counter, and then you can tell your own bad jokes while you cut your own lenses, and you won't need this guy anymore to do it for you. I'll still be around for you to give you guidance along the way though. So the actual cutting wheel is on the far left. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center is going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Press that on there. Well, first I got to wake up the computer. That is the shape of the lens we'll be cutting. That is the block that I'm supposed to use. If I had a very small size, it would tell me to use this little red one, but no, we're going to stick with the larger white one. So let's go ahead and put that in. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time today. It's going to hold it in place into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because yes, I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Do you? Then please refer to it as the Charles, especially when we're cutting the Princeton by Penguin, the Penguin. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high-index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lenses. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. Now it's time to hit the green button, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame first time go around. You can see as it's tracing the shape. And then the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, which with your prescription and a thin metal frame, that's always a concern. But I am using the polycarbonate lenses. So if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off of the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Water will spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, just to wash away any optical debris that may be on the edge of the lens like you saw that just went around. Is it still on there? Is it still on there? Nah. So your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. Now again, this isn't its full size, full thickness. We're only going to use the center of the lens, so it's not going to be this thick when it comes out. But your lenses are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are ballistic grade lenses and have 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from exposure, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So this is permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you probably never need to apply in Spokane, Washington. Because it's always raining there, isn't it? Nah, I'm teasing. I know it's not always raining there. But now the other nice thing about your lenses are they are aspheric. Where is that? Aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is just a much flatter design. A spherical lens is round in every direction and gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Your lens is going to be flatter than this lens, the curvature, so it doesn't protrude out of the frame and give you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Plus it fits in today's flatter curvature frames. The other nice thing about your lens is you paid the upgrade of $44.99 to the anti-glare. The AR also goes by the initials ARC, which I'll get to in a moment. But anti-glare reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights and such. So the ARC anti-reflective coating, it reduces reflections when people are looking at you. So you don't see, they're not looking at their reflection when they're looking at you in your glasses. They see just your eyes, so it makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture with a flash, or if you take a selfie, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. Now the third feature, which I like, it's the practical side, is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating, the machine that applies the 8 different coatings. They literally vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lens. It sprays onto the lens, well, it vaporizes. It's emitted from a jet. It vaporizes 8 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense of they put the industry's hardest coating. Now if you notice, your lens is flat just like a nickel. If I were to take it out now, it would stand up on the counter on its own. But it's about to get the knife-like edge, the bevel on both sides of the lens, so it fits into the bevel of the frame. It's great to have the automated equipment that does it all. I used to have to do this by hand in the old days. Turn on the handstone. Whoop. As I said, turn on the handstone. I have to put the bevel on the front surface, the back surface of the lens. It just gives the opportunity for human error, which now that the computer does it all, this fully automated equipment you never have to worry about. So water has begun spraying onto the lens. It tells me it's in the last 20 seconds of the cycle. In just a moment, a lever will come out of the front of the machine closest to you. At the end of that lever is a spinning wheel, just like you would find on a Dremel tool, a miniature version of the cutting of that wheel. And that's what's applying the safety bevel to the surface of the lens. So should any of the lens protrude from the back surface of the frame and come into contact with the cheek, which it won't with these nose pads, this creates distance from the frame, unlike my plastic ones that sit right on the cheek. But should any portion of the lens come in contact with the cheek, it'll be nice and smooth. So let me go ahead and open this up, dry the lens off. Ooh, it did not remove it all, so I'm going to run my thumbnail around the edge of your lens. When I say ooh, I'm excited about that. I get to scrape off some schwarf. May the schwarf be with you, except it's not. I'm going to clean it off. Now, I used to just wipe this on the floor, but I promised my wife in my new lab that I would keep it a little bit cleaner. You know, when she's not here, I might just go ahead and throw it on the floor anyway. Nah, it's too late. I threw it in the trash. So, I need my flathead screwdriver. I'm going to lefty-loosey until the eye wire comes out of the frame. I'm going to put the lens into the frame. Push that in there, make sure everything is lined up perfectly, and it is. I'm going to place your frame on this little rubber mat to protect the finish of the frame as I press downward. If I can find the slot for the screw. And do a little righty-tighty. And that goes in there. And now we can do the left. Flip that over to L. Press that on there firmly. And hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts. And again, the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses. At first, making sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape. And just like before, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly precisely where to place the bevel. So you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which you barely have any. With your higher than average prescription and a skinny metal frame, you hardly have any edge thickness, none at the top. So that looks good. I actually told him a lot of places are commission based. I told him I didn't think there was a reason for him to have to spend the extra money on high index lenses, that his prescription would look good in that frame, and look at that. When's the last time someone talked you out of spending money? Now, for those of you who want high index, I'm not going to talk you out of it, but I just didn't think it was necessary. So I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 5, put the lens in just above that black dot, read the prescription, and I am getting, where's my flashlight? I am getting -5. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. And so you're on the 20th rung of a ladder. Everything goes up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1 times 5. So you are very nearsighted. You are myopic. You can see everything up close wonderfully. You can look at your finger and see your fingerprint, but everything here on is blurry. So you need 20 steps of far-sighted correction to make everything the correct size. That is why there's a minus sign. Your eyes magnify wonderfully. You can see up close great, just like magnifying glasses. So there's a minus sign, so your lenses will minify everything down to the correct size. Now once it's the correct size, you have 3 steps of astigmatism correction. Remember 0.25, 0.50, 0.75? Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. It is the fine-tune knob. Essentially, it means you have 2 curves on your eyes, a spherical curve this way, which is -5 diopters, and a second curvature this way, which is an additional 3 steps of correction. And it's how you line up those 2 curves to make everything nice and crisp. And we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 005. Again, a straight line is 0 to 90 to 180. We're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 5, just off that 180 meridian. So let me check your astigmatism correction. And we end up with -575, 1 tick mark away from 6. That's because, remember high school algebra where you add 2 like signs together? Yeah, don't worry, I've forgotten it too. Let's use today's terms. If someone had borrowed $5 from you and then they borrowed another 75 cents, they would owe you $5.75. That's where we're at, $5.75 in the red. How often art imitates life. Now, for your left eye, you only need 18 steps of far-sighted correction. It's -450. But again, the same amount of astigmatism correction in your left eye, 3 steps. And we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 179. Now, this is a few videos in a row. This is kind of unique. These first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. It just tells us where to turn that fine-tune knob to make everything crisp. On your right eye, you're 5 degrees away from the 180 meridian. On your left eye, you're 1 degree away from 180. So that's kind of cool. You're only 4 degrees apart. Now, this, again, completely arbitrary number means nothing. I just find it unique, the parallel symmetry of people's prescriptions. When it's at the 45 or 135, that's known as oblique meridian. And with contacts, you have with the rule and against the rule. Most people's astigmatism is lined up a certain way. And it's just cool how yours are lining up in the last few videos that I've done. Now, the Penguin sells for $170. It comes in several colors, and I believe just this one size. I'll need to double check. But there's no charge with your prescription, because again, you buy any frame and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses. No matter what the power is, you're going to get free single vision lenses. And you pay the upgrade to have the anti-glare coating, which I'd almost recommend. There's only 2 things you can do to upgrade your lenses. That's anti-glare and transitions. Transitions turn dark when you go outside, and it's a nice cosmetic feature. But if you can only do one, and this is the least expensive, I would recommend anti-glare, because transition only works outside. Anti-glare, you're going to use every waking moment of your life, so you definitely get your money's worth out of that. Plus, it makes your lenses look thinner because they look invisible without any reflection to the lens. So you'll see better. All seeing is getting light to the eyes. The more light, the better. And no matter what material we use, glass, which has gone by the way of the dinosaur, plastic, high-index plastic, Trivex, polycarbonate, they all absorb a certain amount of light. As the light passes through here, is absorbed into the lens, and some of that is lost. So when you put the anti-glare coating on there, it brings the optical clarity up to glass, which is the best. Now, glass, yes, is the best medium. However, it's very heavy, and if you drop it, it will shatter just like a beer bottle will. Now, all camera lenses, all binoculars, telescopes, microscopes have glass lenses, but whenever you put the anti-glare coating on it, it brings the optical clarity up to glass with the safety features of polycarbonate, which is going to be much thinner and it's unbreakable. So pop that block off, it is no longer needed. Dry that off, continue making my artwork here. Boom. I apologize if you hear the phone ringing in the background. That is the website phone. I cannot answer it during the video, but I will follow up with that person in just a moment. So I'm going to turn the fine tune knob to 175, put it over that dot, and I am getting minus 450, exactly halfway between 4 and 5, minus 450. You have 3 steps of astigmatism correction, so we will end up at minus 5 1/4 of where we are at. So that is perfect. I couldn't have done any better if I had done this myself. Now your pupillary distance is 32.5 for your right eye, 33.5 for your left, for a total of 66. I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then when I hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 66 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly too. Let me go ahead and check the OC height. Looking good there. Looking good there. Now, this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the US, and Spokane, Washington is still in the US. But when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. Let me just go ahead and clean your lenses one time. Now this is the cleaning cloth that you will receive. I field test every cleaning cloth to make sure that it works. I do not want to send out a defective one, although there is no such thing. I just think it's funny. I use your cloth to clean your lenses. So if you get these in the mail and there's a little wrinkle in the cloth right there, you know that it works. You can't tell me that you cannot clean your glasses perfectly. Look how clean that is. Look at that. Look at that. So, but let me go ahead and get these in standard alignment. Again, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I mean wobble, when I take mine, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. I'm wearing the Ray-Ban 2132 New Wayfarer, which is a sunglass. I have taken the dark lenses out, and I've put my clear lenses with transitions and anti-glare in here. So these are the color 6053, which is the blue crystal, which matches my blue crystal. You know me, I've always got to be matching and blind. So let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. Flip these over, press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and neither one is askew like that. Check the tension on each spring hinge. That feels good. If one was looser or tighter than the other, I would adjust for that. One nose pad needs to be adjusted ever so slightly. Give me a chance to use your cleaning cloth again to get my fingerprints off here, so you can't turn me into the FBI and collect that big reward. So that's it. If anyone has any questions, you can either email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website. Better yet, leave a question or comment in the comment section below. I'm using the temple tips to point, because that way someone else can read your question or comment and benefit from your inquisitive nature. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at freeprescriptionlenses.com or on Twitter at freerxlenses. So, Liam in Spokane, Washington. Hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare for your Penguin The Princeton, size 50 and color BK, which is black. And of course, black means black and silver. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.